Hello! Welcome to the Junkyard Rat Show. Happy Martin Luther King Day and happy Inauguration Day 2025. The new boss is just like the old boss. And we got Enoch the Great, January 20th, 25, National Reproducing Day. Return of something terrible after a time of reprieve.
You almost got that right. Let me repeat that.
And today, let me introduce you to today's guest is Enoch the Great, all the way from San Mateo. How you doing, Enoch?
I'm hard to say. I'm gonna tell you maybe next week how that is. I can't say.
Tell me now.
I'm in mourning still, so it's kind of like too early to say.
About what?
As you know, this is the day, the beginning of the end of the country and the Constitution.
It's only 4 years. We got 4 years.
And I think it will take less time than that to destroy what's there.
What do you think about Biden? He pardoned his whole family.
I like that move. He didn't just pardon the family. It was the family, the entire investigative committee on the January 6th committee.
Oh, yeah.
Any and all people connected with that. And I just wanted to say,
did you know Biden pardoned his great-grandson who was like 2 weeks old?
Well, you never know how far the family feud may go.
They wanted this great-grandkid born under the Biden presidency. They made the woman get a C-section, get that baby out in time. That's why Biden was in L.A. for the fires, because he was having a great-grandkid born. But I guess...
Is this a conspiracy theory you're launching?
No, I'm telling you, they did, what is it called when they make sure that the baby's born on a certain day?
I don't know.
That's what they did. They wanted the parents realized that great-grandkid is going to be worth more money if it's born under the Biden administration.
Is it like an astrological sign type of thing that they're doing?
I don't know. But they induced labor.
Well, I am wearing a shirt in tribute to that. One of my previous Cafe Press efforts. You read that?
What does that say?
I made this in honor and in protest to the elimination of Roe v. Wade.
Oh yeah.
And you'll see. Can you read those words?
What does it say? I'm blind, don't you?
You are blind. No. I'm gonna have to read this upside down.
Men who are against choice should stay out of women's vagina.
Yes. Men who are against choice should stay out of women's vaginas.
It's true.
That's all of you Republican representatives, all of you Republicans on the Supreme Court, and all you Republicans who voted for the criminal Trump. No sex for you. Isn't that a bitch?
I'm all pro-choice. It took me.
So am I.
It took me years, but I met a bunch of women that I thought, I met a bunch of bad moms over the years. Now I'm thinking, this should be a choice.
Well, if MAGA cannot reproduce, they can't exist for long.
That's true.
So, they'll be very short-lived, and
That's true. So were you watching the inauguration or?
I was. I mean, I woke up. I turned on my TV while I was still in bed there, and of course they had stuff going on, because of the
Yeah.
East Coast West Coast time difference. You would have thought they would have put this on at prime time, but I guess it's like Trump wanted to get in there, and what does he do in response right
Okay,
away to
let's
Biden?
let's get this thing on the real.
Well,
Trump isn't deciding what time to. This is when it happens every time they do it.
well, he changed the whole thing from outdoors to indoors. What do you mean he can't change
Well,
it?
of course it's indoors. People are trying to kill him.
He
Like,
could have made it to tomorrow.
come
he could
on,
have said,
people
"I
are
don't
trying
want
to
to."
kill him.
He could have said, "I don't want to share this day with Martin Luther King's birthday or with National Recrudescence Day."
You'll never see Trump do another outdoor rally again. I'm
I
telling you.
No, I don't know. He's gonna be so arrogant.
People are trying to
He'll
kill
go back
him.
there to Pennsylvania. That entire month of July, he'll be out there tempting
Yeah.
those people.
There's a golf course nearby. That's why it was actually, I don't know. I've never been to that area. It's got to be freezing out there, but I think from now on it should be indoors. It's a nice ceremony, you
Well,
know.
I don't care if there's snow on a golf course. If Don wants to play golf, he'll have the Secret Service out there with jet engines
Yeah.
on their backs, blowing the snow away so he can get around in.
I heard there's two Donald Trumps. They switch him up because he's an old man. You can't have one person doing the
Well,
whole
there's
job.
rumors he's not even the real Donald Trump.
I don't think
He's
he
the
is.
the imitator that they have.
The
They say that
imitator.
every president they have a doppelganger there. For
I'm quite sure they
instances. And that
do.
might have been his doppelganger.
Yeah.
That was on the podium there when those shots rang out. Because you look
Oh.
at his ear, that's either a hell of a plastic surgeon or it never happened.
Well, the guy's in his 70s, you know.
Well, the conspiracy theorists, of which I'm usually never a part of, were saying that it was a staged thing and that the kid was actually up there on the roof to pretend to shoot at him. But this guy apparently was such a bad shot, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if it was 10 feet in front of him. So they might have had a real sharpshooter 500 yards away who knew he could like wing his ear perfectly. But I don't know. It's like real people did die from that thing, or did they? Here's something for you conspiracy theorists. Prove that those other two people did die. Let's raise some
I
doubts.
don't know. Wasn't there a third guy they claimed in Palm Springs? And the guy they arrested him and they try to make a case out of him, and he's like,
was there a grassy
"No, it was
knoll
Arizona.
nearby?
It was Arizona, wasn't it?"
I don't know. No, you're thinking of Florida, the golf course.
Oh
guy,
yeah,
aren't you?
and yeah. There was a guy in the golf course.
But I
yeah.
mean, was there a grassy knoll near Pennsylvania? History
yeah.
repeats itself. He likes to see himself as like the
Well,
historic figure.
let's get it. I mean, let's be on the real. The government killed JFK. There's no doubt about it.
No,
They're the only ones that could have done it. They planned the whole route. Whoever planned the route were the ones responsible for killing him. You know.
Okay, well you're somewhat correct in a way where you say the CIA was involved, but it wasn't.
CIA is part of the government. Isn't
Well, the CIA back in those days, and even in government today, there's a lot of Jesuits in there, and their marching orders come from the Vatican.
You're telling me because I came from a country that had a coup in '73
Yeah.
with the help of the CIA, and our country is Catholic.
Well, because there were communists there. They were bad.
He was elected. He was elected communist.
Still doesn't matter. Back in those days, you were bound by the Monroe Doctrine to protect
yeah.
this Western Hemisphere, which included America, Central America, and South America.
Hey,
So
man.
keeping the communists from getting a foothold, they already had Cuba, and then they started, taking everything else.
You're telling me I'm all about protecting the blonde women. Are you
Well, not
talking
only
about?
did you have
Are you
communists,
talking about
but
that Monroe Doctrine or Are we
not Marilyn Monroe? That's a complete different.
I thought we were protecting the blonde women.
We're talking about old presidents.
I'm all about protecting the blonde women. Like, are we talking about the Marilyn Monroe doctrine?
No, I don't know there is such a thing, but I know James Monroe, a former president.
Oh, the other
Monroe, of the Monroe doctrine.
I thought we were talking about Marilyn. Monroe.
You know what? I don't even know if Marilyn Monroe's distantly related to him. That would be an interesting thing to look up.
So. It's not even.
But they don't teach history.
It's not a real last name.
They don't teach history in school anymore because.
Don't you know that's not a real fucking name, fool?
What, Monroe?
Monroe's not a real name.
Oh, come on. You think it's a stage name?
Come on, man. You don't know that? What kind of fan are you?
I'm not a follower of hers.
What kind of fan are you? You don't even know that's not a real name, dude.
I don't know. I came on the show and maybe I learned something new here. I'll have to research that tonight. It's history. I was telling you, they don't teach history in school anymore because the teachers don't want to talk about things from the past.
It's true.
So you sit history and it's like, what do they have? Like a whole half hour where they don't do anything?
But you were in school like 40 years ago, dude.
Yeah, well, we had history. We hated it. I like it now.
I like history. I mean, yeah, it's true. I really like history. I think they should have just showed us documentaries, personally.
Well, they didn't have VCRs in the day I was in grade school.
Oh, yeah, they had.
We had Super 8 films.
Yeah.
It took we had nuns and lay teachers in my days of parochial schools. And when the nuns weren't hitting our knuckles with, yardsticks, they were putting up these projectors with these old black and white movies. And,
they had VCRs when I was in, I think.
I had them in community college. High school, we had overhead projectors. You put like that transparency on there. And
I was talking about this to somebody about the food. Was the food good at your school? Or?
We used to go down to A&W at lunchtime. I mean,
no, but I mean
we were allowed to go off campus.
We were too. Yeah, are they allowed to these days?
Not anymore. It's like lockdown. You can't allow bad people to come in and do shootings, and so they force you to eat some trash. I don't know, a lot of it. They had this health food movement thing in high school, so they started pushing this supposedly healthy criterion on them, and then people were starving to death because they didn't want to eat that stuff. So and then it went the other way around, and they started to allow things like McDonald's and Jack in the Box to have outlets there,
That'd be hella cool.
Or you could get day-old Togos or Subway sandwiches out of the vending machine.
We had an open campus too, but there was no fast food near us.
Really?
There was no.
Weren't you near a Kirk steak burger or anything like that?
No,
I would have gone there if I went to school where you went.
My high school was on Johnson, which is
well, that's not. Well, I don't know. Maybe Kirk's wasn't down there.
That was the other side, but yeah.
Well, but then again, you'd be competing with all the Apple employees.
In fact, one of the founders of DoorDash went to my high school, and I think the reason why is because there was no fast food near where I live.
You ever DoorDashed anything?
Yeah, of course I DoorDashed, but there was no fast food where I live. So I'm thinking this guy was sitting around in high school thinking I wish there was some service that would deliver the food to us.
You know what I want to do for April Fools? I want to find out where 2 DoorDash guys live. And I want to call up a place and have DoorDash stuff sent to the other guy's address all day long. So they're sitting there delivering stuff to the guy who doesn't know he's getting it. And at the end of the day, they get home, and there's all this food here. And where did it come from?
I
think that would be the ultimate April Fool's joke.
We used to you never did that. You would have people deliver pizza to people's houses.
Oh, that's how we got through high school.
Yeah, that's how we did it.
Well, no, my friends and I. one of them worked at a Radio Shack, and
Yeah.
next door there was a pizza place, and we go in there and we play air hockey, which was kind of. We were really obnoxious because that was kind of a very audible game because you're visibly hitting this plastic puck with these plastic paddles. And it's like bang, 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 and we're all yelling and being obnoxious. And this Iranian owner of this pizza place was going, "Hey, you fucking assholes, stop making so much noise." And so when we didn't have much money because we're putting all our quarters in the air hockey machine. So when we wanted a pizza, we'd go to the payphone there and we'd send out a delivery for like an extra large combination pizza. And, you know, we'd send it to some address we just made up. And we'd watch the guy making the pizza and he'd send the delivery guy out. And then, like, never failed. 20 minutes later, the guy'd come in and goes, "Hey, boss, another false delivery." And the Iranian guy'd go, "Hey, you fucking assholes, want a pizza? Had another false delivery." And, of course, we'd look at each other and kind of like, "I don't know, you want a pizza?" "I don't know, man. We had the pizza yesterday, you know, because we ordered one yesterday." And that was our fun thing, you know. And now those kids don't realize the kind of that we had stupid, harmless fun like that. Now they have sideshows where you've got idiots that can't drive 800 horsepower Dodge Challenger Hellcats, and they run over people. They call it ghetto bowling. And you see, there's a guy who's like twice the size of you getting hit by a Dodge. And it's like the quarter panel of the Dodge crinkles in. And this guy goes like somersaulting 5 or 6 times. And there's got to be people dying from this shit.
Well, of course.
That's fucking ridiculous, man.
Of course. It's on TikTok.
And they're out there. Well, I don't do TikTok.
Do you got TikTok?
I've never logged in on it. You know why? Because it has badware on it. Bad.
I try and go on TikTok, but I don't know. It's really confusing for me. I don't know.
You log onto it, and your computer, your phone has got stuff on there that's they're gonna look at all your information, your credit cards, your birth dates, your social security.
I'm not really that worried.
Your government pay grade, all that.
They do that to me already, man. Because I look at all this stupid porn. That's why all the porn.
I don't know. That's the one thing, because all these Republicans are not going to be getting sex now. I think we're going to see an influx of porn.
I hope so.
And, you know, they'll have their own little secret dark web for that stuff.
I have an Amazon tablet. That's like the biggest piece of shit tablet.
I got a Samsung. I love that thing.
There are a lot of apps they don't let you sign up for.
You ever drop it?
Oh, yeah, I dropped it, yeah.
And does it still work?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, no. I cracked my phone, though. Not this one. This one's my new phone. I got an Obama phone.
Oh, this just in on my phone. Donald Trump has told his 1,000th lie already.
What is it? What is 1,000 lies?
Yeah, the list is just ridiculous here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. He did pardon the insurrectionist. And, you know, and he was on there. He did a talk after Biden and his wife had left on the helicopter, which, you know, they can't call it Marine One now because you're not the president anymore, Joe.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited because I think this is a great time we take over Canada. There's no prime minister.
Do you want to take over Canada?
We got to take
I don't think
Canada's surrounded.
We're not even taking care of this. Canada's huge.
Canada's surrounded.
It's like another United States, but with more bowling alleys and less people.
Canada knows who's on the border on Canada on both sides.
Oh, the Royal Mounties.
It's us. We got Alaska.
They go. Yeah. Hey, they say a lot. I like Canadians.
I say we take over Canada.
A lot of great guitarists come out of Canada.
Vancouver. We got to take over British Columbia.
The
rest of it they can have. I don't care about
Canada and Greenland. It's a lot of frozen areas where there's like nothing there.
Yeah.
What they want, they're trying to stop the Northern Passage, where they have ships going through there. They don't want the Russians to have access to them.
Hell yeah.
That's why. The Canadians will put up a toll booth there. Hey, Russian, can you afford our toll? Of course they can't because they're broke.
I think it's time. There's no prime minister. We got to take over Canada. They'll have a new one. We got to take over Canada. There's no prime minister. I think we're ready. What do you think?
I think, well, when they're all done with their bowling and
I'm just
maple
tired.
syrup.
I'm tired of these Americans who moved to Canada because of Trump. I say we take over them and let them know, like, hey.
There's no need for them to move. They ought to do what I did with my house.
Oh yeah, what did he do? Did he burn it
I
down?
made my house an independent duchy. My whole property lines. It's no longer part of the United States. It's an independent duchy. I learned that on 60 Minutes. They had a news article about a guy who bought. It's like a tower that rose up out of the ocean. It was a former like lookout post or World War II.
Yeah.
And the guy declared himself like the prince of this thing. So he became a recognized royalty figure and sovereign. And the Brits wanted it back. So they actually planned a military attack against this one old guy.
Yeah.
And, and of course they came there and they rappelled up in this thing. And then they had to go down all these stairs because it was like a fortified fortress out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And, and they get there to attack this guy with their military mission. And, he's there offering them tea and everything. How are you doing, folks? And, and everything was fine. And so Britain decided to recognize him as an independent entity. And so he was his own sovereignty. I think that's what people need to do.
That's what they did for us. They're like, fuck you people.
Well, we took everything from all the Indians.
You want to fucking leave? You fucking leave.
Do you really want to give everything back to the Indians? I mean...
well, not yet.
I mean, I think, what would... I don't know. I just got done watching Yellowstone. It was kind of neat. Because they sold this massive ranch that the main character, played by Kevin Costner, had owned all this. And so they sold it back to the Indian tribe for the same price that the land was worth when they acquired it all, $1.25. So it was like, it was great. They get it back. They gave it, a covenant that it could never be resold to any development or this or that. There's ways around things. I thought that was kind of great.
You should do that. Give your land back to the natives.
Well, no.
You're sitting on native land, aren't you?
Well, someone who owned it before them. Nobody. I mean, the Native Americans or Indians or whatever they called themselves. The Ohlone. The Ohlone was the tribe that was the first here.
Give it back to the Ohlone.
When the first Ohlones were here, who owned it then? It was probably some Neanderthals.
They didn't own it.
They hadn't had the concept of names yet. They just kind of like, grunted at one another for, meaning you killed that thing last night and you're eating all of it.
No excuses. Give your house back to the Ohlone. No excuses, man.
If you can't hold the land, you don't deserve to have it. That's been the way it's always been.
How are you holding the land?
You have to have a way. You have to be strong enough to hold on to the land.
Do you like holding the land yourself?
So there it is.
Yeah, so my friend was telling me that the food at high school was really bad. And my food was okay. I don't remember it because, food is food, but...
Grilled cheese sandwiches. I remember my high school made a hell of a grilled cheese sandwich.
They sold Jolt Colas in my high school.
You mean the stuff that was like 40% caffeine?
Yeah, I think they sold that shit.
That stuff...
Maybe I'm naive.
They used to sell it at Fry's, and... it was like all of a sudden all these, technicians that had to pull these 24-hour overnighters to get a project going for like some convention. They would go down there and they'd buy like cases of Jolt Cola. And they were getting heart attacks from that shit.
I drank like 5 Red Bulls in one night.
I mean the stuff with the bull semen in it?
Yeah, I drank 5 of them one night. You want to know how?
Stuff is pretty...
Because...
strong.
What is
this? I didn't even. What is it? This is okay. Sierra Nevada hoppiness. That doesn't have any like pot stuff in it, does it?
Nah, Sierra Nevada's
that's
got no
safe.
weed.
It's safe.
Is that a real question?
It is an IPA though.
When was the last time you smoked weed?
God, I don't know. I've eaten weed, but not.
When was the last time you ate weed?
One of my girlfriends, her parents were like. the local chairmans for Normal.
Oh yeah.
You would have liked them because we did they also sponsored things like
Are you still
public
friendly?
events, races, and things. They were raising money for Normal on a 5K run in the Golden Gate Park one year.
Oh,
So we had an after party at her house,
oh yeah.
and her mom, unknowing to me, had like they were Italian and Sicilian,
Oh
so
yeah.
there's all this pasta, and instead of like basil and what's the other oregano, they had like ground up little pot in there as the spice.
What year? This
And
was
it
in
was
the.
like,
Was
the
this in
more
the
it's
80s?
like
Or?
your appetite, it enhances your
Oh
appetite.
yeah.
I mean, there's like a pan of lasagna there, and there's this big guy and I sitting there eating this. There's like one pan there, and the two of us are like dominating it.
Oh yeah.
People would come over with pans and with, little scoops, and we like slap the scoops out of their hands. And we ate that whole pan ourselves, and then had Linda's mom comes over and he goes, "You guys was like this pot here, have another lasagna." So we ate another pan, and he couldn't stop eating it.
We
And I started really feeling pretty good and lightheaded. And the thing is, the more you ate, the hungrier you got. You never felt like you're getting full. I must have eaten 12 pounds of lasagna. I mean,
yeah.
I was in the bathroom the next day for like 6 or 7 hours.
You never.
While I'm on there, still digesting it. It was one
Oh,
continuous former lasagna.
they didn't tell you. I mean, they.
Oh, yeah, afterwards she did.
She
But,
did.
it didn't really dawn on me that she was going to impose it. I thought there was going to be choices of pot enhanced pasta and non pot enhanced.
So what
pasta.
happened? What happened in your relationship? You had a
I don't know
normal.
if that kind of spread us apart or whatever.
You were
'Cause,
about
yeah,
to
we
join.
we actually
You were
did
about to join a normal family, not the abnormal
an
family.
abnormal family.
Not an abnormal. You're joining a normal family.
The weird thing is I found out that she actually lives like right down the street from me. There's an apartment complex
Why
at
you
the
said
bottom
go
of my
say hi?
neighborhood.
Get me some.
And I
free
ran
weed.
into her at I was taking some courses at the local junior college
Oh yeah.
where I'd met her. And one day, there she was, and we were talking about stuff, and she had a daughter, this and that.
Oh,
That's all I say. Yeah, I'm just, where the house is up the hill, and
she doesn't come visit.
never.
You, or-
Well, I don't know. Like I say, she had this. She apparently had a kid. Of course, the mother knows who, that she had the kid. I had a daughter, and I didn't know it. Never met her, But if the mother obviously has met you can't pull it over on the mother.
Oh,
but
you think it's
you
your
can
kid?
pull it over on the father.
Oh yeah. Are you the father? Or that?
Well, I'd have to be the father, and she'd have to be the mother. That's just the way things go. Didn't your parents teach you
Well,
that?
no, I came from a store.
A
I'm
story.
magic.
Okay.
I'm magic.
Okay, so
I-
if the mother dropped you off,
I
and
ain't
some
I'm
avian
magic.
creature scooped you up and kind of like, this is getting kind of heavy.
Creature-
Drops it, and there's your parents.
Creatures
Okay.
like me, we don't come out of any vagina. We come out of an egg. The stork brought me. It was a flamingo. A flamingo showed up.
Personally, I like vaginas. There, I said it.
The flamingo dropped me in and stuff. I'm
Well,
magic.
flamingos have vaginas too. I
I
hope you
don't
don't
know.
have any weird things towards avian vaginas, because that would be just a little too much
No, the
on
truth is,
recrudescent stage.
I always wondered if my
Yeah.
mom was really my mom because we're not alike at all. Like,
Really?
I always think like I always thought I was adopted and stuff, and but I'm very like my grandparents. But yeah, so
Well, do you look anything like your dad at all, or what?
yeah, I kind of look like my dad.
Well, then they probably are your parents.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure if they weren't, you're old enough, they would have told you by now.
I always
most
thought I was
parents-
adopted.
Will reveal to their offspring if they're
My mom is
adopted.
like 5 foot tall. Look at me. Look at me.
That wouldn't be the first time I've seen that discrepancy.
My
How
mom's
about
like
your
5 foot tall.
How about your dad? What is?
My dad is like 5'9".
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I might have been adopted. I'm still thinking it could
Maybe
have.
while you were like 7 months old, they're having you shot up with
I
steroids
think
or something.
they mixed me up and they mixed me
Took the
up.
wrong person from the
Oh yeah,
hospital, or
yeah. I don't know. We all look alike, so.
oh, this just in. Donald Trump has told his 2000th lie already.
2000.
Yeah.
I had to go to the dentist and because my crown fell off and this time it broke. My crown broke and
Well, I don't know what Donald Trump has about dentists, but he's got enough problems with doctors. They went there and they told him that he's got to watch how often he plays golf, because they say it's when you're in the golf cart there driving around these 18 holes, it's not good on your hemorrhoids. It's just saying these hemorrhoids are getting so much larger. And his personal physician would say, Donald, you have to stop playing so much golf. Your hemorrhoids are getting enormous. And when you get off the golf cart, you take the swings and you're cheating and dropping golf balls and cheating and cheating. And then your hemorrhoids, you're moving them around and then putting them on pressure on the golf court. He goes, you're pretty soon you're going to have, your hemorrhoids are going to be so big, they'll be like you'll have an extra buttocks there. And it will look weird. You'll have your normal buttocks and a buttocks between that. So it will look like there are 3 buttocks there. And you'll have to have special made pants. And you'll have to represent the country. And people will laugh and say, look, there goes the leader with 3 buttocks in those pants. Instead of 1 seam, there'll be 3. That will be weird.
Is that your CNN audition tape?
What?
Is that your CNN audition?
No, I'm just saying that
Is that your CNN?
a person
I
has
don't
to watch
know.
out. If they let their hemorrhoid condition get to that
Hey,
point
man.
where they have to have custom tailored
I live-
hemorrhoid revealing pants.
I live near 2 golf courses. I'm right on the golf course.
So those people play, do they have a hemorrhoid problem?
I don't know, but I don't see anybody taking a
Well,
dump.
you're not taking advantage of playing on the course.
I don't see anybody taking a dump on the golf course.
Well, no, you're not saying you take a dump on the course. I'm saying that the physical actions of, I mean, if you're just walking the golf course, that's good for your health. But I mean,
these fools
when
are
they're riding
walking.
on the golf carts the whole time, the golf cart's giving you the friction there and the hemorrhoid problem, getting up and out and the swinging and, trying to find your lost golf ball. And then, Donald Trump goes, I found it here. It's a Titleist 7, just like I said. And he hits, and it's a Max Fly too. That's the kind of.
Are we really talking about Trump's hemorrhoids?
I'm talking about his insincerity while playing golf.
He's probably
an honorable game.
Trump probably wears diapers.
And he's Scottish. He's a Scotsman, and he should at least play some. He should pay some tribute to the game and not cheat.
So, what do you think about? Do you think
this just in?
Trump
Donald Trump
has
told his 3,000th lie.
His 3,000 lie.
Not even in the afternoon cocktail hour, and he's told 3,000 lies.
I went to the fucking dentist, and
dentist that fucks.
These fools carved up my tooth again, man. And why?
And he does it by fucking?
No, it's a woman. But the thing is, why they gotta carve up my tooth?
I just had to go through a whole year where effectively I had a tooth pulled out. And it was like, I remember the day they told me I had a swelling, and the doctor says, you have to go to the ER because if this infection you have, if it gets to your throat, it could swell up and you couldn't breathe, you'd die. And it's like, I looked at the paperwork, $29,000 for that ER visit.
Oh, yeah.
You go to your dentist to have an extraction, and if you're paying out of your own pocket, it's like $400 or $500. I mean, that's the problem with our healthcare system.
The problem is you don't realize you can pull out your own tooth, bro.
Well, I mean, yeah, the people that have watched Castaway, and if they're lucky enough to have a skating I don't know if it's on the left foot or the right foot, if it makes a difference, if it's got the sharp skate and you're on an island by yourself with a rock. Yeah, maybe you could do that. I mean, the old days where it was like your dad would tie a string to your tooth, the other to the door knob, and he would like shut the door and it would yank the tooth. That was like the Appalachian way.
I live in a senior community. A lot of these people.
Well, that seems to be a little more civilized.
A lot of these people think that
Are there many Appalachians living there?
No,
I would doubt it.
No.
Because they would all be toothless, for one thing.
They are toothless, though. A lot of these people lost.
They'd be toothless. They'd probably be MAGA supporters.
No, there's not many. There is some.
They couldn't afford good bourbon, so they'd be making moonshine.
No. This place, no.
They'd run out of corn, so instead of distilling more corn, they would throw Uncle Earl's socks in there.
Yeah. So I didn't have the permanent crown. They sent it out to make one, but last time they charged me like $1,000. I hope they're not gonna charge me. But they gave me another crown, and it came off like it didn't even last.
Crown, you mean like Crown Royal, like the Scotch bottle?
No,
Here, drink this for the pain.
They gave me some plastic thing.
Yeah. I had a plastic filling. That's what failed on my tooth that started the whole thing.
I was eating some chicken and it broke and stuff. But then I'm just gonna hold out. Like I'm not.
It probably wouldn't have happened if you'd have cooked the chicken first. Instead of, you're so impatient that you wouldn't even let them pull the feathers off the little bastard.
Well, no.
You started gnawing on him, and he couldn't get away.
Well, that's how. I'm old school. That's how you kill the chicken. You just you take the chicken's head and you're like just stick. And you gnaw
it off?
You gnaw it off, man. I'm old school, man. Like, back in the day, the man did not have knives. You use your teeth to cut shit, That's the way I used to do it. In fact, that way the chicken can't even scream.
Are you saying that they're very backwards in Peru? Or Chile?
I'm fucking Chilean. No, I'm not.
Well, what's the difference between Chile and Peru? You're both on that side of the ocean,
I'll
right?
tell you what the difference is.
You both eat fish.
I'll tell you what the difference is between Peru and Chile. We just don't
both have E's in there.
We don't have Machu Picchu.
You both have 2 syllables.
We don't have...
5 letters or less.
We don't have a bunch of crazy people...
At least Argentina has a bunch of letters, and a bunch of syllables. I can respect that.
Well, the main countries, when people go to visit Argentina, they usually go to Brazil or they go to Peru. But we don't got Machu Picchu.
Eva Perón, wasn't she Argentina?
She was Argentinian. Yeah. Actually, we share a birthday.
She was a hottie.
We share a birthday.
Oh.
Tracy Lords. I share a birthday with Tracy
Brazilians, they're the ones that are hot.
Brazilians are fucking hot, you know. They're also the only country that doesn't speak Spanish in the area.
Well, they're Portuguese.
Yeah, they were part of Portugal, yeah. And
just like Greenland is part of Denmark. What language do Danes speak? It's really interesting if you look at the different languages in Scandinavian countries, because you have the Norwegians and the Swedes, and they talk very much the same. But Denmark people and Finnish people, it's quite different. Finnish people are actually, linguistically, they're closest to Hungarians of all things.
Oh, yeah. Aren't you from that area? Aren't you?
Well, yeah, my dad was Hungarian. And, he used to be able to actually converse with some Finns.
That's why you're always hungry for that lasagna and stuff,
What? Well, no, actually,
you're
a Hungarian would be hungry for goulash. And I'd have to say, my parents, not once in their entire time when we had family dinners, they never made a goulash once.
But you never been to that area?
My mom used to do pot roast on Sunday.
You never been to that area? You never visited?
Never.
Why didn't you go visit? I mean... Why is it?
Well, if I visited there, I would have been blindfolded and not known I was there. I mean,
well, yeah, back in those days,
in those old company days.
But now
maybe.
You can go visit.
I can't talk about that though. Can you delete the last 15 seconds of this conversation? Just in.
Yeah, he told us
Donald Trump. has told his 4,000th lie. He's on pace for a record day here.
I know.
In fact, I was going to say I had a new character that I was doing.
He's deporting people already and stuff.
Is he?
He's deporting people.
Let me if I can. Oh yeah,
He's deporting all the people.
Here was my prop.
Your prop? Did you bring
my new comic?
What did you bring us? What did you bring us?
I started doing this on the Zoom show. The new character.
Oh yeah. Were you on last night or?
Is the great Innoxious, who will predict the future.
What is the future?
The great Innoxious. I predict Donald Trump will have told 21,000 lies before midnight on his first day in office. Not bad for the criminal Trump.
You sure like
You'll notice that I will always refer to him as my criminal Trump. I never will refer to him in the sense of the office.
You keep wearing that hat, he'll have you deported back to Hungary.
Oh, God. I better get...
But why didn't you
No more predictions. I don't want to think of the future. The future is now. Party like there's no tomorrow.
Were you on last night, or what? Did you do the Zoom show last night, or
what was it? Was last night Sunday night?
Yeah.
What was I doing? I was on there. Did I have jokes? No, I really didn't have anything. I actually had for dinner the very same thing. Actually, the same thing I cooked the previous Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like everything was, there was football playoffs on. I didn't have time to do anything special. Didn't have time for jokes. And Vihey was probably upset at me for mispronouncing his name again. I have a new book in the works.
What is it called?
528,000 ways to mispronounce Vihey.
Oh, yeah?
Vihey.
Did you ever read that book?
And I'll have a sequel. I'll get into mispronouncing his last name.
Have you read the book 101 Ways to Walk Your Dog?
Oh, you mean like the WOK?
Yeah, like the Chinese walk.
I need to buy one of those. Anytime I cook Chinese food, I have one of these little Teflon. I don't know if it's Teflon. It probably is because.
How you say Vaya's last name anyway?
His last name?
Yeah.
Hoovy?
Hoovy?
I like that name. I think that's a good way of saying it. Well, there's actually a person on Facebook I like to watch, Hoovy's Garage. The guy's like the dumbest car owner. He's one of these guys that has almost as many cars as Jay Leno. And he kind of like is a self-made man. Came out of nowhere selling cars, and now he's like... It was kind of funny. He had a race between his Grand National Buick and a Lamborghini Countach that he owns both of them. And he had his friend drive the Lamborghini, and the Buick beat the fuck out of it.
That's crazy.
That was like America, man. If America wants to be great again, go back to the fucking 80s or something. I mean, we had the Brat Pack back then. We had John Hughes. What do these kids have now? They don't have anything like the Rat Pack.
That reminds me, this is the last year that Great America is going to be open.
Yeah, we're running out of those things.
And that was my first job, and I was thinking about actually getting a job there because it's the last year, I thought. And because I want to make Great America great again. We know what
they'll replace it with? They'll put a cell phone tower up there and a website that allows people to log in and look at. You'll have a VR thing because AI will allow you to sit there with your AI headset and feel like you're on an actual roller coaster. We were on roller coasters, and the thing that went down into the water and like splashed you, and now how are they going to do that in AI? I mean, you're not going to have the real feel of the smells and everything else.
I don't know.
Fuck AI.
What do you think about AI? You think AI is everywhere?
I think before they do artificial intelligence, they ought to perfect artificial stupidity. Get that right first, because there's lots of examples of stupidity. And once you can do artificial stupidity, then work on artificial intelligence.
That's true. What do you think?
Oops, this just in. Donald Trump. Not quite yet.
No.
Wait for it.
What?
Wait for it. 5,000 lies already, and it's not even 520. They're getting the little cocktail Wheaties out, and I'm not talking about the congressmen and senators in the GOP.
Do you know the trick about comedy is that the odd numbers are always funnier than the even numbers? So as long as you just keep bringing out odd numbers.
Well, no, I'm trying to make the even numbers even-handed in that.
Like
people should laugh at even numbers because
like
they're divisible by 2.
The boy bands all have like odd numbers and stuff.
I'm not interested in boy bands. There's never been one boy band I've ever even listened to.
What are you talking about?
This morning the conversation went to someone talked to me about mentioning the Village People. He was on the thing last night.
Yeah.
And okay, I did learn one thing. There's only one Village person left.
Yeah.
I think it's the Indian. I don't know, maybe the cop. But I actually saw the last time I ever saw the Village People. There was a Nash Bridges episode. And the clever thing when they filmed that in San Francisco is the director and the producer would grab people on the street to be part of the scene. And they did this scene where there was a traffic jam and a light went bad, and it kind of actually fucked up the project. So they had this Village People. It was probably a tribute band, but Cheech Marin comes over and he grabs the policeman's whistle and he starts guiding the traffic. That was the only time I remember the Village People. Well, look at these guys. They're all gay, aren't they?
But you know why they're
they're at Trump's.
You know why they're there? Because
trying to kiss butt. Why?
Because nobody else is hiring them, fool. You think the Village People?
There's got to be health laws and
they're paying this guy. No.
And tribute acts at Vegas or something.
No, they need money like anybody
LBGQ. Is it LGQBT or TV? I get that.
What kind of liberal are you? You don't even know.
I don't. I'm not a liberal. I'm a moderate.
The Village People, they got a cop.
There's the sailor, the motorcycle guy, the cop, the construction guy. Isn't there a fireman? Is there a fireman?
You know what they don't have?
You would think there. I mean, firemen.
That's why I never got into the Village People.
All day long.
Those are all people with jobs. I don't got a job, so
fire people. I respect
I could never relate to the Village People.
There wouldn't be in LA right now if it wasn't for firemen.
Oh yeah, that's crazy what happened in LA and stuff.
I mean, well, of course, all the conspiracy people are harping on that. You know what? Someone was stupid enough when they knew the Santa Anas were coming in there to not have a fire. Don't even go outside to have a cigarette. Don't light your little fire pit. Don't light your chimneys.
Well, I came up with a solution. You know how Israel has they have that dome? They have a dome for the missiles, right? So the missiles can't get into
it's an arbitrary dome.
You know what LA's got to do?
It's not a real dome. It's not like that short-lived CBS series where they had a real dome.
In LA, they got to build a dome. Anytime
they did, and the Rams play inside it. It's called Sophie.
No, what I'm saying, they gotta build
Sophie's Choice.
Anytime
Sophie,
SoFi Stadium. Yeah. But no, anytime there's the Santa Ana winds, you gotta bring out the fucking dome and cover it up.
The Rams lost yesterday.
Yeah, they lost in Philly.
I mean, it was kind of, great. LA's half burned, but their football team got burned.
I thought they were gonna win because.
How about the Ravens and the Bills? The guy had the 2-point thing right in his hands.
Oh yeah,
and isn't that gonna? What team is he gonna play with next year? I wonder.
Well, not the Ravens. I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure he got cut already.
Well, Probably. I mean,
He's never gonna live that down, man.
well, I'm trying to think. I think the last player that did something that bad was Garo Yepremian when he botched that kick, and then he tried to kick it sideways, and
Yeah.
like no one wanted to be a football kicker for like years. And so there was like a time in the NFL where they had some really suck ass kickers because nobody wanted to be a kicker.
I'm sure that guy might have got paid off.
And I think Garrow the only money he made after that was Miller Lite beer commercials.
Oh yeah.
You may not remember me, but and they probably had some guy like Dick Butkus, making fun of him or
like
something.
that Red Sox player. What was the name of the guy who the ball?
Speaking of
the
Miller Lite,
the ball went through his hands.
We didn't pay tribute to one of the greatest.
Oh, Bob Uecker.
The Uke.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment of silence for the Uke. That's good. 5 seconds. That'll work.
I used to watch Mr. Belvedere. Did you ever watch Mr. Belvedere?
You remember the name of the show?
I'm a big Bob Uecker fan.
And then he was also Harry Doyle on the Major League movies.
Oh yeah, the Major League movies with Reggie Jackson and OJ.
No,
Major League.
No, you're thinking of Police.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking Police. Whatever.
There was the guy. Wesley Snipes was Willie.
Oh no, Major League is Charlie Sheen. Charlie,
was,
that's a great movie.
Just a bit outside.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, they're in the restaurant, and what's his name? The catcher guy's his ex-wife is there, and Charlie Sheen goes, "You want me to go over and beat him up?" Yeah, that's my ex-wife.
Oh yeah,
Harry Doyle. He was, and he goes, "Listen to this crowd." There's like 8 people in the stadium. Those are great movies.
Oh yeah.
That was this, segue back. I just mentioned Nash Bridges a little while ago, and the guy who was the coach in Major League, the guy who played Lou Brown, great actor named James Gammon.
Yeah,
and, that was Nash's father. And he was, I remember when, who's that actor from, who was the L.A. lawyer, L.A. Law, played Roger Dorn. Comes over, look, Lou says I don't have to do exercises in calisthenics. Wait. He grabs his contract and he pisses on it.
There's breaking news. Biden just pardoned 3,000 of his family members.
I don't know if he has 3,000 family
He pardoned everybody who's dead.
Okay.
He went back in time. All the Bidens.
Was he afraid they were going to, dig up their graves?
All the Bidens. All the Bidens. He pardoned all the Bidens. He pardoned all of them.
I feel sorry for the Scots, because I have a little bit of Scot inside me.
Oh, yeah?
The Scots
were
good, rugged, they were very much against the Brits, who were always our mortal enemies. Because first we were the colonials and we fought them off, saved their asses during World War I, saved their asses during World War II.
We
let them attack and fight the Argentinians over an island full of penguins.
Oh yeah, that was embarrassing.
And the Argentinians almost kicked their ass.
That was, it was embarrassing because Chile sided with England and stuff.
They did?
Yeah.
And you admit it?
Well, yeah, because our president at the time, Pinochet, was he was the right wing. He was
I used to call him Pinochle.
He used to be friends with Margaret Thatcher and stuff. He was pretty hot though.
I never liked Margaret Thatcher.
Would he have done Margaret Thatcher back in the day if he had a chance?
I would throw up. And if someone
she is pretty hot though.
The mention of her and sex in the same, not even in the same novel. I mean, it could be 2 different books.
I would bang her.
It would still make me ill.
She's kind of hot though.
No. You're sick.
Hello.
You need a large supply of lubricants.
What did you
some magazines?
Did you hear that Remember Pinochet almost got arrested in England when he was down there?
I only remember that the guy from Iran who was in exile there was constantly having his life threatened by Iranian
the writer. Well, no, that's somebody.
He wrote that book about Oh God, that was back when it goes
Oh
back to
yeah,
the days of the hostages when Jimmy
Salman
Carter
Rushdie.
saw Salman Rushdie.
Salman Rushdie, yeah.
He's still alive, and all the
He's still alive.
Ayatollahs that basically forced him into exile, they're all dead.
He was in exile, but
Nothing better than a
married.
dead Ayatollah.
He was in exile, but he got married like 3 times during exile.
I am all in favor of dead Ayatollahs.
He got married.
That would be a great name
He
for
was in exile, but he was still getting
revive the punk rock movement and bring back. They were the dead Kennedys. Let's have the dead Ayatollahs.
He was still being found by women, like the Iranians.
Salman Rushdie. Wasn't he blind in one eye?
Yeah,
too?
no, he got blind. Remember, there was an attack.
Yeah,
he
got
he was in exile, but he got married like 3 times. You know, I don't think the Iranians were really looking for him because somebody like that would be easier to find. You just send a woman out there.
It's gonna drive me nuts what the book was he wrote. I have to goggle my. You know, I sold Google a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't realize. I wanted to sell some stock from last year and then sell some from this year so that they didn't both appear.
How much was your Google stock at?
Oh, it's still the same. It's like 190 and change. But I didn't sell all of it. I sold like 2/3 of it. But I kept some because it's going to be involved in this artificial intelligence. But
did you make money off of it?
I digress. Why was I even talking about it? Oh, I just realized I lost a buttload of money on a solar power stock, sun power. I could have sold all of that stuff because the loss. I lost like 30 or 40,000 bucks on sun power shit. And I was like selling some stock to pay off credit card debt. Oh, there's a Brazilian.
You gotta turn off your beeping, dude.
No, I was gonna look at. I need to find out that Salman Rushdie book.
Oh no,
it's gonna drive me nuts.
Look it up.
On my way back on the Muni train.
Where did you park at anyway?
How does is it say like salmon? Salmon?
Salaman.
Oh, they spell cheeky on it. British they call him a British novelist. How about that?
Yeah.
I always thought he was I misspelled Salman Rushdie Israel. No, that's not what I want.
No, that's not what you want.
I hate those things that autofill. Here we go. That's him with his eye.
Oh yeah.
Sir. Ahmed Salman Rushdie. I like that harsh K when someone has Ahmed. Always say.
Why can't you take off your beeping, dude?
Because that's people notifying me.
I don't give a fuck. Turn off your beeping.
What was the book that he was famous for? My God, that's the Brazilian gal is messaging me. Satanic Verses.
Satanic Verses.
That's the book. Yeah. Okay. Now I can answer the
Satanic Verses. Did you read Satanic
Why don't you tell me about the Satanic Verses and I'll tend to this Brazilian.
I read the Satanic Bible. I never read the Satanic Verses though. What do you want to know?
I got mentioned. Oh, okay.
Somebody mentioned you?
I congratulated her.
You gotta turn off your fucking beeping.
And she's thanking me with a laughing emoji. Okay.
Because
I'll take that.
That's always good. That's always good.
I told her that for Christmas I want to be one of her T-shirts next year.
Oh really? What does she say?
She hasn't answered me yet. I'll see. Mean Dave has mentioned me in a comment.
Mean Dave hasn't blocked you, or?
Why would Mean Dave block me?
Because he's blocked everybody I know. He's blocked everybody I know.
Obviously, let's see. I told Mean Dave I don't miss McUltra, and he said we don't need to. I'm sure it's alive and well.
Oh, MK Ultra, hell yeah!
Yes, I was probably
MK
part
Ultra,
of that period of time when, my God, the Brazilian gal. There's like a shitload of stuff. I'll spend the rest of the evening answering her. Mean Dave, I'll have to answer him later. There's 10 things here from this Brazilian gal. Anyway, that's good. I imagine.
Is that the one from Zoom? The Zoom show one?
No, I don't know. She may have done one. Probably. I don't know. It'd be nice if she's watching this show. We haven't had any call-ins. We don't have Paul here to tell you that.
I don't know. You want to put up the number?
I don't have the number. Paul, can you do that?
Paul, put up the number if you want. I don't know.
I'm sure the napkin guys probably.
Well, there's one of the numbers over here. What does it say?
Studio line 415-757-0676. Yeah, I should have been a radio a second.
You look like a radio DJ from the 70s.
Well, I want to get into voiceover stuff because I'm good at that.
You should.
I go to karaoke things, and even though I'm not a great singer, I can imitate a lot of people. I do a pretty good country Dick Montana.
What about your...
People don't remember. People are forgetting who Country Dick is. But now we have a new Country Dick. Isn't that something? We have a brand new Country Dick.
What about your new model?
And his name is Criminal Trump. Criminal Trump. Criminal Trump. Oh. Meanwhile, I'll sing about Criminal Trump. Criminal Trump is taking a dump.
The studio hotline is open, 650-503-3435. The studio hotline is open, 650-503-3435. The studio hotline is open, 650-503-3435.
Really?
Okay.
He said...
We're back with Criminal Trump Day.
He said, the guy said, like, I take you to San Francisco, I bring you back from San Francisco, and I buy you a burger. So he decided he didn't have to pay me anything.
Hey, burgers righteous bucks, man.
It is. Burgers
in San Francisco. If you did like an hour and you get a burger, that's $20, man. $20 an hour. You know, that's $20 an hour means that's what you're doing, a $6 an hour job, and they happen to throw a 20 at you.
What is the minimum wage anyway? Like
it's like $20.
Yeah, there's the minimum
People are
wage.
bitching about why everything is so expensive. I'm sorry. You know, goddamn kids don't even want to get jobs anymore, and no one wants to give them jobs.
But I do.
So they're out there.
I do.
They're out there doing these sideshow things. And it used to be you could work in a theater or a Baskin Robbins or a gas station.
I'm going back.
Gas.
I'm going back.
Jobs don't exist anymore.
I'm going back to save my first love.
Baskin Robbins.
Great America.
They'll have an artificial intelligent
I'm
little
gonna go
robot.
back.
What flavor would you like?
I'm gonna go back to save my first love.
What's that?
Great America.
First love.
My
Using
first
lots
love.
of lubricants and what?
My first love, Great America. I'm gonna go save my first love. I'm not gonna let them shut it down. I'm gonna live there. I refuse to let them shut my first love down.
Your buddy Jim hasn't tried calling in yet.
Nah, I don't know where. I haven't seen Jim.
He called in last night and he made a vote on something.
Oh yeah, what was it about?
No, he like I say, the vote. He wanted to. He's got like a old style phone and he can vote on there.
Oh yeah, he's got one of those.
By proxy, he just has Vohe vote for him on there and add the vote.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't get like a laptop or something.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I mean,
maybe I don't know. I kind of like those flip phones. You know, they actually do. Samsung has like one of their top of the line phones that folds in half.
Yeah.
So it's like when you fold it like this, it's almost a tablet.
Yeah.
And the idea is it's slim enough so when you like stick it in your pocket, it'll fit in that pocket, and it may stick up to here, so it like blinds your eye. You know, so maybe some people don't like that. But, you know, they'll just change shirts and they'll make a shirt with the damn pocket down here.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so you put it there, and it's got like maybe the whole pocket will be that long. You know, so you could stick half of a golf club in it or something.
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, people should be able to carry their golf clubs everywhere, right?
I've seen some people that do that.
Oh yeah.
I think Happy Gilmore wasn't the guy who he hired like some homeless guy to be his golf caddy at the first golf tournament he was at. Remember, it was him against a shooter, the Gavin, who...
Yeah, aren't they making another movie? Another Happy Gilmore?
They ought to. As long as they don't do a redo, you know, with like...
I don't know.
You know, having...
well, Bob Barker's not around.
Well,
so.
you could have a new version for Bob Barker.
You could have Drew
You could
Carey.
have the guy who just retired from Wheel of Fortune.
You could have Pat Sajak.
Yeah, Pat Sajak could be the Bob Barker character.
Bob Barker was
Who
fun.
would you have to substitute for Happy Gilmore, though?
You know what I didn't like about Bob Barker?
Who are some new actors?
I
haven't been to a theater since COVID era.
I don't like how he kept talking about spade and neutering animals.
I'll bet you $5 you can't guess what the last movie was I saw in a theater.
The Ten Commandments.
No.
Sleeping Beauty.
No.
Bambi.
Ford versus Ferrari.
That's a good movie.
It's a great movie. I saw it with and this was like just before COVID, I believe. And there were 2 other people in the theater.
Why don't you guys call in?
I went to a matinee because I was a cheap shit with theater. I don't believe in paying $25 for a ticket to a movie when I could buy the damn Blu-ray for $18.95 on Amazon. And it's there the next day on my porch in the morning.
On Tuesday, you can go for $7.
It's still cheaper to buy a used Blu-ray, which Amazon will have there on my porch in the morning.
Not me, man. I believe in seeing movies. Don't you ever see a movie so good, like you think I got to see this in the theaters before it goes out, you know?
I don't know. Let's see. There was one IMAX thing. I've never seen an IMAX movie, but I was trying to think. What? And there's only one I could think of in San Francisco. It's down like 3rd Street, 3rd and whatever.
No, there's one in the Metreon. That's
the one I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, because I got the AMC movie pass.
That's a long... I live in the goddamn peninsula. That's a lot of fucking work to go
I'm sure there's a movie theater nearby your house. You're a cheap... You're a cheap fuck.
I'll get a 4 or 8K set before I do that.
If you were doing nude modeling, why don't you just start doing that again? No, nobody wants to pay you nude
I'm gonna
anymore.
just keep drinking beer here.
Do you still get offers for nude modeling? Or?
Trump is up to 8,000 lies already.
Do you have
He's on a record pace here.
Do you have any paintings of you nude? I want to see one.
No, you're not old enough.
How long were you doing the nude modeling for?
Huh?
How long were you doing
Why are you obsessed with me in a state of undress?
Because people are interested. They want to know how the fuck you got involved in this shit. Because you don't look like...
You'd have to ask the bald
You don't look like somebody...
Only the bald-ass bitch can answer those questions.
You don't look like somebody...
And she's not on there right now.
You don't look like somebody was doing nude modeling. That's why I'm asking you.
Why not?
Because, I don't know, because you're a chubby dude. You're like a chubby.
I had cancer and I was on hormones for goddamn 2 years. I put on 35 pounds.
But was it uncomfortable ever?
Can I go back to my Apollo-like figure?
Was it uncomfortable at all?
I'm too good of a goddamn cook. That's why.
But was it ever uncomfortable being nude in front of people?
I don't know. Let's swap subject here. We're on 8,257 lies.
57. Now. What about that woman who had sex with like over 1,000 people?
Huh?
There's a woman in England that had sex over 1,000 people.
Was her name Opa Hole?
No, her name was something blue, I think. Something blue.
That's the wrong hole.
No. I think it was 1,057. 57, that would have been me because that's my birthday, 5/7.
I don't know. It's National Oh God, I created. I didn't even create the name. I have to admit, someone else put the word up there, but
Oh, yeah.
I took it and ran with it. I went to Cafe Press, put the first T-shirt up
You
there.
didn't bring me any.
I
Yeah.
actually did order some shirts. Paul and you were supposed to have a shirt. I was supposed to have a shirt, and they're down at the damn post
You
office.
see, I think they're putting up your shirt.
Yes. And that
You know,
shirt is sitting there because it's Martin Luther King Day. They could not deliver it.
I say
I actually went down to
you
the
never
post
look better
office.
than you do with
I
a.
was going to have them hand me the shirt because it was like there's like a coercion between UPS and the
Yeah.
United States Post Office. They both
Well, they got
do
stores
things
you
for
can
each
go do
other.
that at, right? They got a store in the mall you can go get gear made out.
What, you could buy Postman or something like
You
that?
can you can go there and they'll make T-shirts for you.
Postman for sale. The Trump has laid me off. You can now hire me to be your individual DoorDash
Okay.
person.
Maybe. I don't
I
think
don't
Trump
know.
has laid off anybody.
I have to, one of these days, I'm going to walk around the neighborhood and do a survey what kind of work people actually do. I actually drove by 3 cyber junks today. And if people don't know what the cyber junk is,
Yeah.
that's my name for the cyber truck.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the thing that looks like a stainless steel dumpster. And people have actually gone to like Home Depot and oh, here's a couple of bags of garbage and walked over to these things to
Yeah.
put garbage in them before they realized it was actually someone else's vehicle.
Did you get me a full sleeve one or a short sleeve T-shirt?
I got a 2XXL, which I don't know will fit you or not because that was the
Oh, yeah.
largest one they had. I just got 3 of those size.
What about
And I got one more Barking Pumpkin T-shirt because I couldn't find mine.
what about
And
this
of course,
T-shirt?
as soon as I ordered it, I found it. So I'll now have 2 of those.
What about this T-shirt? The Ice Cream Man, Grateful Dead.
I'm not a Grateful Dead fan.
You know the Ice
I
Cream
have
Man.
one Grateful Dead album, Terrapin Station.
Oh yeah.
Because it had a touch of gray on there and a couple other good songs. Other than that,
Oh yeah.
the Dead, it's like you play 15 minutes of them, I'm already sick as hell of here.
You're not a fan.
I went to one concert, and it was not because it was a Dead concert. It was the US festival, the US festival, and the Dead played there. So I had to listen to them for like an hour.
Us and them. That's Pink Floyd. That's Pink Floyd.
Yeah, no,
So
Pink
what?
Floyd wasn't
Who else
there.
was on that bill? The U.S. festival.
Oh, the US festival. They had
The
2
US
of them. The second one got a little bit. They had like Judas Priest there and things like that.
Well, that's a real band.
But
yeah.
I mean, the other one had Fleetwood Mac, Tom Petty.
Do you still go to concerts or? What's the last
Yeah.
concert you went
Well,
to?
I'm not doing big venues anymore because it's like the band. They don't have. I don't think of any rock bands that are touring and doing the big stadiums anymore. The big,
Oh no, they do.
like who? You want to go see U2? Doing shit from 30 years ago.
You
Green Day.
U2
Sorry, I mean Green Day hates Trump too, and I like that, but I'm not going to listen to
U2
Billy Joel Armstrong, who sounds like a whiny Billy Joel. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm not. Bless Taylor Swift's heart because she gave like every person that worked on her tour probably got like $100,000 bonus. They probably got more in bonus than they got in a salary, and that's like fucking great. This woman who made billions of dollars touring. Is she still doing the Kansas City guy, or did she dump him?
No, I think she's still with them.
She's gonna dump him because sooner or later she's gonna need to write another song about a boyfriend that failed. So sorry, Casey. It's inevitable.
She wrote a song about me.
Either get on your knees and put a ring on that woman's finger, or just be another song.
She wrote a song about me. She did.
Did I ask you if I wanted to know about your latest dream?
No, she wrote
No,
a
I
song
did
about
not.
She wrote a song about me.
Right. Yeah.
I've had a lot of songs.
And she personally licked the pizza cheese off my toes.
Well, no, I mean that would be great, wouldn't it?
What?
I would have a whole career if she did that.
I'm talking about the pizza cheese on my toes. She licked them.
That's the luckiest family. The whole Kelsey family is getting rich off Taylor Swift. I mean, nobody would have cared.
Anything she's connected with is getting rich.
Nobody would have cared about that family until that guy started dating her. It's like, it's crazy now. Now everybody's looking at their shows.
Can you hum just one of her songs? I have to admit, and I met some gal about, God, how long ago was 2009? That was like a decade and a half ago. I don't know. She
16 years ago.
That is over a decade. That's a decade and not quite 2/3. But anyway, I remember when I was in junior college, every woman was trying to look like Pat Benatar.
Oh yeah. Like Fast Times at
10 years and 6 years, 6 and 10 years ago. That's a good way of putting it. They all started trying to look like Taylor Swift.
Remember Fast Times at Richmond High?
I should have been in that movie.
They talked about how there's like 3 women.
What character from Fast Times at Ridgemont High would you have been?
Which one do you think I would
be? He's still thinking. He's trying to look. I don't know.
I just don't want to admit what character.
Yes, it's the Bob Weir did that song. What was the one that goes, "Don't worry about mama, don't worry about it, don't worry about it"? That was. I'm going to have to get that damn thing out. And the trouble is, I've got like 3 turntables in the house.
You could be like
authentic
a DJ.
Turntables. I mean, Sony PSX6, JVC, and a Thorens. And none of them have been turned on for like 7 or 8 years. So the motors are probably like so much dust in there that they'll like, it's going to take a while for these things to turn on. And I even have one. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think all 3 of them are direct drive because I was kind of an audiophile back then. I actually bought the Sony at a garage sale in Saratoga. It was like $50. And I used to work at the Good Guy Stereo. And I remember when we sold these fucking things for $500. And I looked at that thing and I go, man, that's like one of the things I've been trying to kick myself in the ass for years that I didn't buy one. And here it was. And then I spent like $300 on an Ortofon moving coil cartridge. And you know what? You cannot find a cartridge for that anymore. Hermery's in San Carlos was the last place that had them. And then when they're going out of business, I went down there and there's like 3 Ortofon cartridge coil replacements. And it's like the replacement, the needle is what you paid for on cartridges.
You got to replace the coil in your brain.
Well, now they don't even have those. They have turntables again. You know those turntables people buy? Oh, it Bluetooths. The cartridge on that is just as good as what your parents had in the 1950s Magnavox piece of furniture that they had in the living room. You know, the thing that you put your first records on. And it was like the record would last for like 5 plays because the weight of the tone arm was so big.
Nice.
You know, it basically, The first time it played sounded good. The second time, by the fifth time, it was like it was an eraser. You had a blank disc.
Hey, so you got tonight Ohio State versus.
Oh, okay.
Ohio State? Who you got Ohio State?
Well, I was trying to be incognito while he was giving football.
Who the fuck is Ohio State?
Is this football or highlight? What are you talking about?
Ohio State versus Notre Dame. What you got tonight?
In what? Is it highlight?
It's
tennis?
It's college football.
Okay. Well, say it. Say it.
It's Ohio State. It's for the national championship.
Well, not everybody knows that. There's some people that don't do anything but wait till the championship game, and they might not watch it now until you tell them it's
tonight.
The football game.
It's tonight, fool.
On Tuesday night?
It's Monday night.
Is this that's what happens when you're retired. You lose track of time.
Get with the program, fool.
I can't even remember what the 8th day of the week is anymore. What is it?
It's double Sunday.
What's the day after Sunday?
It's double Sunday.
Yeah, there's
double
2
Sunday.
Sundays in a week. I know that.
There's 2 Sundays in a week.
Whoa.
Breaking
9,000 lines.
9,000 lines.
I didn't know if he's going to get up to 10,000 lines before the end of the show. My money was on Trump would have 10,000 lies before 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Breaking news: Biden just pardoned all the donkeys in Tijuana. You know.
Well, you know what? I'm not surprised that the criminal Trump that he. You know, this was kind of retaliation for Biden pardoning the people that basically investigated the insurrection.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he went and he pardoned the worst of them. And I mean, someone like Stuart Rhodes of the Oath Keepers and Arturo, who I can't remember the guy who was the Proud Boys one. Those guys were serving like 18 and 21 years in prison.
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
They basically got together with Roger Stone and Michael Flynn, who were they were like the 2 guys who were the point guys to put this insurrection together. And it was Rhodes who even during his testimony, during his the sentencing portion of his trial, he admitted, and a lot of people don't know this, but the Oath Keepers had a cache of weapons in West Virginia. That one of the guys there said, you know, he was like a former military guy. He said, I never saw so many assault rifles in one location. They had virtually 1,000 like AR-15s and shit. They were ready to wipe out Washington, D.C. had the first part of the insurrection succeeded. And this criminal that now sits in control of the country pardons these fuckers. I'm sorry, I can never forgive that. And thank God to Jack Smith that when he said that they dismissed the charges without prejudice, the very second you saw like Biden getting on the helicopter, when Trump and his wife look like they're going to get out of Dodge, you know, leave Washington after 4 years. Just the moment before he's stepping on the helicopter, the marshals are going to be there and clap the handcuffs on him. You're under arrest. You're going back, and you're going to face these charges. Ha 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 ha.
Well, I just want to say that my assistant told me that I was right about the Monroe Doctrine. It was about Marilyn Monroe.
They are related.
They are related.
Oh, cool.
They are related.
Great grand aunts and uncles?
That's right. And in fact, Biden just pardoned Marilyn Monroe and her family. And
okay.
Just pardon all of them.
Well, Marilyn Monroe was not only diddling the president, I think his brother. Robert, which means that his son
do you have a brother?
Is the second. No. RFK Jr. Is like the diddler Jr. Of Marilyn Monroe. And he's going to be the one that the reason Paul is having COVID, it's people like RFK Jr. that would not have allowed the vaccination. And I, as a cancer survivor, undergoing radiation treatments because I was stage 4, and I was like on prednisone and other shit. And, my immune system was deliberately suppressed, for these things to do their thing to kill the cancer.
Yeah.
And it was very important for me to be up to date on my vaccinations. And all these conspiracy nuts are telling me, oh, you're never going to be able to have good kids or healthy or this, that. You don't know what it's doing to your system. I go, I know exactly what the Moderna vaccination does. It goes to the little COVID thing and the little sucker deals that like suck on for nutrition. It destroys those. And it was an RNA based vaccination, ribonucleic acid or whatever. It was not a live culture vaccination. Half these people, they talk about. I have a friend of mine who's into this conspiracy theory. He calls them chemtrails. And I go, no, they're contrails. An airplane flying 5 miles in the air.
Yeah.
It's just natural. There's ice crystals up there, and they make those fucking white trails in the sky. It's not chemicals.
But you haven't been on a plane in how long?
I have been on an airplane before.
When was the last time you were on a plane, though?
I stopped flying and... No, I was on, it was the 737 that had the bigger engines on them. I used to love flying the 737.
You haven't been on a plane in 20 years.
When you got on those things, they had the little jet that was the same engine that they used on the 707. Quiet, I'm talking airplanes.
You haven't been on a plane in 20 years.
But I mean, those things were like
the fuck
hot
do you
rods.
know? The fuck do you know what comes out of the airplanes?
I know a lot about it.
You haven't even been on
a
a plane.
About the structure.
Why the fuck don't you fly?
I could design and build an airplane.
Why the fuck don't you fly
I
then?
could fly an airplane.
Why?
I could go into the cockpit and fly the damn airplane.
Why?
If you're ever on a fucking airplane and the pilot croaks and Enoch is there, just ask for him to land the plane, and I will get the damn plane down. Goddamn.
Why don't you fly? Why haven't you been on a plane?
Because it's not safe.
What do you mean it's not safe?
Because the damn things have pieces falling off of them. Airbus and Boeing don't manufacture planes anymore. They're kit builders. They have pieces made in fucking China. The left wing is made here in Vietnam. The right wing is made here in Thailand. They're both shipped to Germany. And then they're trucked across to France. And they're bolted on to the biggest piece of shit airplane that ever lost money. Airbus, apparently the A380, I didn't know this, was entirely subsidized by Europe. Because they wanted to have a bigger plane than R747.
But aren't cars built the same way as... They a bunch of plastic parts.
Well, cars have always been built that way. You've always
had plastic
parts. GM has always. That's the thing about the auto industry. Yeah. For every one job you see, there's 10 other jobs around it because there's a machine shop or a plastics maker or a cast, foundry that makes parts for automobiles. Sure. It creates jobs. It's a work maker industry. Now the thing about AI is this is what worries me. Yeah. They're only going to push AI because they think it's going to create jobs. They're going to make a bunch of shit we don't need. Automobiles, people needed that because we were able to get from here to like way over there on our own without relying on the stagecoach.
What are you talking about? I'm ready for a robot to
AI. You want to have an AI geisha?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, Jim hasn't called in yet, and he probably is scared to shit to talk to me.
Why?
And I don't blame him.
Why is Jim scared of you?
Well, he's a Trump person.
Oh yeah, Jim is a Trump person.
And he knows that if he tried to debate me, I could be a master debater on a subject like
You're a masturbator.
I said a masturbator.
I thought you said you're a masturbator. Do you still masturbate?
Well, I had my prostate removed. It's kind of pointless.
That's what I'm saying.
Not in 4 years.
Can you come anymore?
Let's see. There's this Brazilian gal on here. I have to see and talk to her about that. I've still got a beer here.
Seriously, can you come anymore?
Huh? Well, that's a rather personal
Because
question.
I'm 52.
Okay, you ask that question to Paul and see what happens.
Well, I'm sure that guy's still banging his wife. Aren't you banging? You see, he's still banging his wife. That guy.
Well,
I
can still be banging someone's wife too.
No, but I'm asking you because.
But I'm not banging Paul's wife. I wouldn't go that far.
Because of your
I'll never bang a friend's wife.
But because of your surgery, I that's why I'm. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe it's personal, but I'm just wondering what happens.
Well, people, men, especially men, well, only men actually, get a prostate exam. Don't wait for when the powers that be say you should have one before 60. You should have one before 40. You should have one before 50.
Oh yeah, I'm 52.
Get one when you feel like getting one. It's your fucking prostate.
It's your right. It's your right.
Just let your doctor stick his finger or her finger. In fact, maybe that's better. Men should have a female doctor.
Yeah.
So have the woman stick her finger up your ass and
find
out if you're okay. Yes.
It's usually a male doctor that sticks his finger up.
No, I had a female doctor.
Is that awkward though, having a female? Was that your first time you had a female stick the finger up your ass? Or?
I refuse to answer the question because that's a goddamn personal question. Ask me for a recipe for red hot chili.
What's your recipe for red hot chili?
It's a top secret.
Don't you just get like some, spicy Cheetos and then put some beans inside?
It's a top secret. I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you after I told you.
You don't have to tell me.
But I'm a kind person. I would let you make it first and enjoy it and savoring. And as soon as you were about to divulge it, I would have to kill you.
That won't be me because I don't do spicy foods.
Oh, okay.
I don't do spicy foods.
That's good because the older you get, it just disintegrates your stomach lining.
That's why Latinos don't respect me, man. I don't go to Mexican restaurants.
Oh.
Because they always look down at me.
I bet Danny Trejo would respect the hell out of me.
Danny Trejo loves me and shit.
He's the man. I love Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo.
I think if given a choice between an election of the criminal Trump and Danny Trejo, see, Danny Trejo's been through prison. I think prison would actually make Trump a better person.
So what we figured out is that you refuse to go to the movie theaters. You refuse to get on airplanes. It sounds like
because I've been to the movie theaters. Been there, done that.
It sounds like
been on an airplane. Been there, done that. I haven't been on a spacecraft. They're not safe enough. Look at the SpaceX. It blew up. You know what? You had Zuckerberg, Musk, and Bezos all together on the same stage. 2 out of 3 of them have rocket companies, and one of them blew up, and the other one didn't. And the other one that didn't started Amazon.
Oh, yeah. But
I think a book is safer than a Cybertruck that they used to blow up.
But the reality,
Trump Tower.
The reality is, if you don't have people in the spaceships, you can blow them up. It's not a problem. As long as there's nobody riding the spaceship.
Well, what's the hurry to get to Mars? Because you know what? You get to Mars, you cannot stay there for more than 4 years. Because the radiation will kill you.
Let's be honest. That SpaceX's main business is putting up satellites.
Yeah, but the thing is,
that's what they do.
Elon Musk wants to get the government to pay for his ultimate dream of landing on Mars and building a colony. Isn't that quaint?
Wouldn't you go to Mars?
You cannot stay there.
Wouldn't you go to Mars, though? I would go to Mars.
What's he going to have? Trump towers all over Mars?
Fuck yeah, why not?
You can be here, but don't be here more than 2 years so you can recover from the radiation you've been exposed to in the very small... The Martian atmosphere is like 6% of what we have on Earth.
So
it doesn't have a Van Allen belt around it.
I'm confused. You don't like Trump.
Why should I?
Am I confused?
I don't like people...
We gotta go.
We do.
We gotta go. It's 3 p.m. Tell us about your butt plug.
Plugs, I'm
What are your-
always on Zoom Sunday night. I'll put a link on Chris's website, I guess. His page, his Facebook page. Yeah, I'll put a thing there. They can also get my men shouldn't men don't deserve women's vaginas that voted for Roe v. Wade. Buy Vaseline, because that's all you're gonna get.
Well, my plug is come and watch me every week here. Come and say hi. Come and do my show. I don't do the Zoom show anymore because I thought they don't need me. They got you.
No. The more people, the better. The more the better.
My thing is,
we don't have Vince on there anymore. You can put a blonde wig on and be Tammy.
Oh, Kels is.
Oh, they're not even. I don't even think they're open anymore. That's I don't know what's going on.
Kel's got canceled, but
I think they had a health department shut them down for bad Greek food or something.
No, they got. I think they're open.
Bad ouzo.
They don't need comedy. They make enough money.
Last minutes.
What do you think?
Last seconds. Oh. We made it! Trump, 10,000 lies!
Biden just pardoned all the village people, not the ones that did the concert, but the other people.
I would vote for the Indian of the village people before I'd vote for Trump.
You shouldn't be hating on artists who performed at the Trump inauguration.
I'm not hating
because they needed the money, goddammit. Would you turn down Trump? Well, thank you. Goodbye.
Every nation
see you in the next 4 years.
Right to determine its own destiny, free from the interference of external powers.